for the future, I believe that there needs to be a further categorization of essential roads as versus simply NWA roads, because some of our essential services did not and does not lie on what is termed an NWA road, and the delay has caused for limited access to some of those essential services. I can speak for some of my schools that principals were delayed in getting back to school to assess and to do
Remember,
necessary
you know better.
things.
Just ask the questions.
Yes.
What, yeah, no man, I give enough latitude. Member, just the questions.
Yes.
Because you have several members who still have questions. Thank you
that.
so much, member.
Yes.
You learned something else.
Mr. Prime Minister, is there a system, Mr. Prime Minister, in place for, Mr. Prime Minister, is there a system in place for social workers to do the necessary assessments and to pair families willing to take on persons in their homes? For example, in Kingston, a person may be willing to take somebody in their home for a short period of time. It would be best if there was a trained individual to make a pairing between the person in need and the person willing to volunteer to reduce the probability of negatives for persons willing to open their home. A lot of the rehabilitation, a lot of recovery would need to separate, especially some of our small children, from the realities that they're being faced with in the spaces of Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, etc. And there are Jamaicans that have space, that have heart, that are willing to open their doors for periods of time. Is there a system of application, volunteering, and also social workers pairing so that the necessary things can be done in that way? Mr. Prime Minister, I saw the announcement of a Department of Volunteerism being set up, I think, in the Ministry of Culture. When will that be open for telephone calls? Is there a website up? So it will be up soon for persons to indicate. Great. Finally, Mr. Prime Minister, as a farmer who knows the pain of expecting returns and losing those returns, there are some farming-dependent communities that the trees didn't need any great gusts. They're fully damaged, fully devastated. We're seeing banana trees all on the ground. We're seeing sorrel that they were depending on for Christmas. We're seeing gungo. They can't get that anymore. We see pear on the ground. We see yam totally down. I didn't hear much about farming, but their recovery, their survival is totally dependent on the returns from that farming. I hear about the food package. The $5,000 package is 2 days' meal for a 3-member family. If you go to a 5-member family, possibly 1 day meal when you look at 3 pounds of flour and 3 pounds of rice. These people who might not have lost their roof, but their economic dependence, their livelihood was on farming. I can speak to many who have lost their chicken because light don't come back yet, and the freezer can't come back on. I don't need to speak for myself, I'm not the worst. I can speak for some whose chicken is now ready, and they can't kill them, and must feed them. I wonder, though they were not impacted in their homes, how are we going to act for the farmers, especially because there must be a delay between replanting and reaping. These were in close proximity to reaping. How are we going to do that? And Mr. Prime Minister, the final thing, the CDF. Can instruction be given to the CDF to relax some of their requirements? Well, you don't hear my question. Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, I reached out to the CDF to get a generator and a freezer for that same chicken problem. That the chicken, I knew the constituents who would not be able to purchase a generator and freezers for their chicken and their livelihood, that we could have that at a central space and they could check in their chicken and their thing like that. The CDF suggested that wasn't within the mandate. However, the same CDF will give allocation to go buy 100 little chicken for them to start over, instead of giving us some capacity to preserve their investment because for some reason a generator was not in the rules. When there is a disaster in front of us, there needs to be some capacity to say if the proposal is sensible within the context of the times, that investment can be facilitated under that particular circumstance. So those are the questions, Mr. President.